In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 3 best irons for mid-handicappers in 2019. So what we basically look for whenever we were testing them all out were how they actually performed, how the quality was, and then also the price. And then we tried the best we could to find one that's a little bit cheaper, one that's kind of middle of the range, and then one that's more expensive as well. So you can basically kind of go off whatever your budget is. But let's start with the number 3 pick. It's going to be the Cobra King F7. And even though these clubs came out in 2017, I still feel they're a great club for mid-handicappers because the performance is pretty well just as good as any, and they are extremely affordable. They're still a forgiving iron, but they also have a decent amount of feedback and also workability on them, which you're definitely going to want as you start getting better. Workability is being able to draw, fade the ball, that kind of thing. But the long irons are designed to increase forgiveness and height, so giving a higher launch. While the short irons, they're more like blades. They're not quite like a full-on blade, but they are more so than the longer irons. And that's basically designed to give you more like feel and more accuracy, that kind of thing, around the greens, which is definitely what you want. Pros, they're half the price of some of the other irons on the market, but still really close in terms of performance. And then I found the long irons easier to hit than a lot of the competitors. And then as for the cons, so the irons all feel different. They sound different as well at impact. So like your 5 iron is going to sound and feel different than your 9 iron, which isn't really a huge deal, but it could give you some mixed signals just because you're not going to get a consistent feel or sound to them. So it might be a little bit tricky. It might take a little bit of time to fully understand what your clubs are actually telling you. They felt a little bit hollow at impact, but obviously it didn't change the performance. It's more of a feel or personal preference. There's definitely 2 of the the biggest cons to it, but overall not really big deals in my opinion. But number 2 is going to be the TaylorMade M6. And these are some of the best game improvement irons on the market today, and for me they were the longest of the 3 irons. If you've ever hit the previous M4 irons, the new M6s sounded a lot better and also gave me a higher launch angle as well. And those are kind of the 2 main things I noticed as improvements over the previous M4. They weren't as forgiving as my number 1 pick, and they didn't they didn't offer as much workability. But if you are looking for straight distance, these are going to work great for you. Pros, the longest irons of the 3, they sounded great at impact and gave a good amount of feedback, more so than the previous Cobras. And then they had a confidence boosting high launch as well, which I definitely really liked. Cons, they're fairly expensive. They don't offer the most control and workability. Still a bit better than the previous Cobra, but not quite as good as my number 1 pick. And then they are a little bit heavier than the old M4, which I'm actually personally a fan of. I don't really like the super light clubs that are coming out these days. I prefer a little bit of weight just because I can get a better feel to them. But those are kind of the main cons to it. Some people do like lighter clubs, but obviously they aren't super heavy. But they are a little bit heavier than the previous M4. Not really a huge deal, but it's just something to know. And my number 1 pick is going to be the Cobra F9 Speedback. And this is definitely my favorite mid-handicap iron, and even though it wasn't quite as long as the previous M6, it was more forgiving and also offered more workability, so being able to draw and fade the ball, that kind of thing. As you get better, distance becomes less and less important, and you're more focused on accuracy and ball shaping, and these are definitely great clubs for that. They also have Cobra Connect on them as well. And that's basically going to automatically track your stats, which is really cool. You can basically, you can download the app, the Cobra app, and that's going to track all your, your stats, that kind of thing. Put it in the app, and then you can go back after the round and kind of, see how you did, that kind of thing, which is definitely a really cool feature. Pros, they were the most forgiving of the 3 irons. They had a good amount of feedback and accuracy. They sounded and felt great at impact. And then the short irons had great control with them. Cons, like the M6s, they are an expensive iron. They weren't the longest iron for me, but they were definitely really close. But overall, if you do take into account all the pros, all the cons, these are still definitely my favorite irons for mid handicap, so I would definitely recommend them. If you are more so on a budget, I would suggest going with our number 3 pick, the F7s, but any of the 3 clubs are great options for you and are going to be my favorite ones for 2019. If you'd like to see more images or more reviews of any of the products, or you want to pick up any for the lowest price available, check out the description down below. At the time of the video, that was the best place I could find each of the products, so you can go ahead and check out the current price if you want. And if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I will just mention our monthly giveaway, so if you want to enter in, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and then comment giveaway down below. Simply do those 3 things and you'll be automatically entered. Alright, so that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.